on progress under Special Campaign 2.0. Interviewer is Sonu Sood, AIR correspondent.
The Special Campaign 2.0 for institutionalization of Swachhata and reducing pendency in government offices started on 2nd October 2022 and will go on till Monday 31st October. To discuss the journey so far, we have with us Mr. V. Srinivas. Sir, a warm welcome to you on All India Radio.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Sir, Special Campaign 2.0 was expected to be much bigger in scale and effectiveness as it had the benefit of best practices that emerged from Special Campaign 1.0 conducted last year. How far have these expectations been met?
The Special Campaign 2.0, in its second year of implementation, seeks to realize the Honorable Prime Minister's vision for institutionalizing Swachhata and minimizing pendency in government. The focus has been on digitization, efficient management of office spaces, enhancement of office spaces, environmental friendly practices, and inclusivity measures. In several ways, the Special Campaign 2.0 has been huge success in terms of cleanliness campaign sites being conducted across the length and breadth of India, with nearly 90,000 campaign sites and office spaces being cleaned up. Further, we have witnessed more than 265 crores of revenue that has been earned from scrap disposal, and the space freed from record beading has been 39.15 lakh square feet.
Sir, did the campaign elicit enthusiastic participation from government officials and common citizens?
The Special Campaign 2.0 was led from the highest levels in government, with members of the Council of Ministers providing leadership to the campaign by their personal supervision and participation. So Government of India also participated in the campaign. This leadership and guidance provided tremendous focus to the thousands of officials spread across thousands of office spaces to participate with tremendous determination, commitment, and enthusiasm to provide citizen-friendly office spaces across India.
So have any additional best practices emerged from Special Campaign 2.0?
A series of best practices have been witnessed in implementation of Special Campaign 2.0. I have personally visited 19 ministries and departments where the works have been undertaken in field locations and was very impressed to identify the 100% mechanized cleaning that has been adopted at all railway stations, the use of Aadhaar-based mobile banking that was adopted as a citizen-friendly practice by Department of Posts, the development of Kachra Garden in Bokaro Steel Plant, use of face authentication app for pensioners above 80 years of age, the development of digital portals, which is an intra-ministerial digital portal in the Ministry of Railways and in the Ministry of Defence, and enhancement of office spaces by development of very beautiful corridors like the Aranya corridor that has been developed in the CBIC headquarters.
What key best practices have emerged for improving record management systems?
The Special Campaign 2.0 had a tremendous amount of focus on improved record management. Over 48 lakh records have been reviewed, and out of these, 4,050 records which have completed 25 years of duration of historical value have been identified for transfer to National Archives of India. The accession procedures for accessing these records and placing them in public domain will be commenced shortly after the campaign. Further, over 15 lakh files have been weeded out and 3.5 lakh e-files have also been closed. The trend has been to move towards a digital central secretariat that has been witnessed by reducing the number of physical files and shifting to higher number of e-files.
Reducing pendency has been a key goal of a Special Campaign. How has 2.0 fared on that front?
The Special Campaign 2.0 had a series of identified parameters in terms of minimizing pendency in government. The foremost amongst them has been timely redressal of public grievances. 3.5 lakh public grievances, as also public grievance appeals, have been redressed as part of the campaign within a period of 20 days. We have also noticed that each grievance that has been redressed, the feedback call center makes a call to the citizen to understand the quality of grievance redressal. And we note that more than 1.97 billion impressions have been received on our Twitter handle, and 5.13 lakh positive mentions have been made in the government's efforts towards reducing pendency in government and for timely disposal of citizen cases.
So how has the campaign resulted in revenue for the Exchequer? Minister of State for Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, Jitendra Singh, said that it was realized during this campaign that even the electronic scrap was saleable. Can you tell us more about this aspect also?
As part of the campaign, the revenue earned from disposal of electronic scrap amounts to rupees 265 crores. The scrap that has been identified includes electronic scrap, that is laptops, printers, photocopiers, in addition to old furniture that has been weeded out, as also the paper that has been weeded out. We've tried to identify timely vendors who can procure these electronic scrap items and ensure that office spaces look clean and healthy for a conducive working environment.
So how challenging has the process of weeding out old files been, both physical files and e-files? Prescribed guidelines have to be followed very cautiously.
A lot of care was taken for training of officers for record management practices. Files were classified into Category A, Category B and Category C files, and only Category C files which have completed the record retention schedules have been weeded out. Similarly, E-files which fall within the record retention schedule and completed the timelines for closure have been closed. The files which have to be conserved will be taken up for conservation and preservation. In the Department of Administrative Reforms, we have identified documents which date back to 1908, 1917 and 1947, a report on the reorganization of the Central Secretariat, documents which are of high historical value which will be taken up for preservation and conservation.
So you just mentioned that over 39 lakh square feet of space was freed during Special Campaign 2.0 so far. Can you tell us how was this space freed and how has the freed up space been used?
The space freed has emanated from physical files that have been weeded out, old furniture that has been weeded out, as also in terms of electronic scrap that has been weeded out. Corridors have been freed of almirahs that were standing there containing material which needed to be scrapped. So the space that has been freed up will be used for development of parking spaces, development of yoga centers or wellness centers, as also for enhanced office space. In that we have witnessed in the Department of Land Resources. Similarly, the CBIC, the freed up space, was used for setting up a vertical garden, and in the Department of Water Resources, dump yards and scrap yards have been converted into parking spaces.
So you feel that by laying special emphasis on office spaces where there is public interaction, the image of Indian administrative ecosystem will get a boost by this campaign?
The Honorable Prime Minister would like a citizen's interaction with government to be friendly and conducive, and it should be an environment where healthy atmosphere prevails between the citizen and government. Further, government officials have to work in healthy working spaces which are stress-free and which are energizing. So this special campaign not only boosts the morale of citizens, but also the morale of thousands of officers who work from clean and healthy office spaces.
So can you tell us about government's effort during this drive to remove archaic and obsolete rules that were hampering the clearing of waste?
Over 900 rules have been notified, processes have been simplified as part of the campaign. There are a large number of rules that pertain to simplification of pension rules that I have notified in the Department of Pensions and Pensioners' Welfare, which pertain to clarifications being sought with regard to family pension benefits, with regard to face authentication application being used, with regard to digital life certificates being promoted. Overall, the experience has been across departments and ministries, simplification of rules and processes has been pursued with great vigor.
Has the waste material also been used innovatively by some government organizations for beautification? Has the greater availability of space and creative use of waste led to some unique outcomes?
The scrap that has been identified has been very innovatively used by most ministries and departments. For example, the Honorable Prime Minister has tweeted a picture of the Bengaluru railway station, wherein which plastic bottles were used to create a symbolic sculpture which attracted several passengers to pose next to it. Similarly, Ministry of Steel has created at Bokaro a Kachra garden in which they used material like old tires, old pots and created a garden space which could be utilized. Several office spaces have been enhanced by creating panoramic photographical views.
This was a very, very massive exercise this time in terms of the number of cleanliness sites also compared to 1.0. More than 10 times the number of cleanliness sites were increased. Different institutions like post offices, police stations, they were included. And geographically also it was a massive exercise. How difficult was the coordination and monitoring the progress?
The Swachhata campaign was implemented in remotest parts of India. The campaign has been implemented from Itanagar in Arunachal Pradesh to Bikaner in Rajasthan, from Leh to Kanyakumari, and thousands of government offices participated on it. The coordination was possible because we operationalized it through a digital portal in which nodal officers from ministries and departments updated data sets on a daily basis, and secretaries to Government of India reviewed progress on a weekly basis. The leadership provided by the members of the Council of Ministers and the Secretaries to Government of India enabled implementation of a campaign on a national level which is unprecedented in terms of breadth as also in terms of depth and policy implementation.
How was the progress monitored? Was it on a day-to-day basis or was it individually done by the ministries, departments?
The progress has been monitored on a special campaign 2.0 portal, www.pgportal.gov.in, so special campaign 2.0. On this portal, nodal officers were identified who would feed data sets collated from thousands of offices, 395 attached and subordinate offices, as also field formations. The data would be collated by individual ministries and fed in. Media tweets were issued as part of the campaign. The best practices were screened in terms of print media as also through television.
So do you see this ambitious cleanliness initiative becoming a regular annual effort? And do you see India playing a leadership role in terms of inspiring other countries also to follow the same path?
Let me quote the Honorable Prime Minister from his tweet, when he has said that such efforts are not only innovative and commendable, but most importantly, remind us of our basic duty of keeping our surroundings and public places clean. This is the objective of the Special Campaign 2.0, to ensure that Swachhata is institutionalized in all government offices, in all government servants, and in all citizens across the country. And I think the effort on a scale of this magnitude across the length and breadth of the country has created this kind of an awakening to implement and realize the Honorable Prime Minister's vision.
So do you feel that with everybody's enthusiastic participation, all stakeholders, if they come together and this effort gains even further momentum, this will give a big boost to ease of doing business, ease of living in our country, and also attract investment, inviting for investors?
Yes, citizen-friendly environment that will simplify a citizen's journey with government would be a very welcome initiative. In fact, processes are being simplified on a day-to-day basis to ensure India's digital transformation. And as we formulate a Vision India at 2047, the objective would be digitally empowered nation, a digitally empowered citizen, and a digitally transformed institution. The Special Campaign 2.0 is a major step in fulfilling this long-term vision of a digitally empowered nation, digitally empowered citizen, and a digitally empowered, transformed institution.
Thank you so much, sir, for this discussion, throwing light on this ambitious program of the government where the government workspaces are being spruced up, they are being made smarter, more efficient. The Special Campaign 2.0 is coming to an end, but we hope that this mission will continue. And as you said, we will move towards more digitized and more empowered society and economy.
Thank you very much. We look forward to continuing this pursuit of excellence in the coming months.
You were listening to an exclusive interview with V. Srinivas, Secretary Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, on progress under Special Campaign 2.0. Interviewer was Sonu Sood, AIR correspondent. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR.